Raging Bond. Yeah, okay, so part 2, Itokazu Taiga. So today have some other references. We'll show examples. So what I was talking about, I was again reminds, because you know this, like, you need to make sure you understand, because like it's so often people think, and I know it from my own experience, people think they understand, but actually not. So just make sure it's clear. Sometimes you need to repeat. So I again like repeat this thing about like what is the point of using Kranz cubes, because it's about rotation according camera. So if we have like an object here, is we call it like a zero angle, because it's just like one side, it's a front, right? So then we rotate it 90 degree. Now it's 90 degree rotation according to camera, to this camera, right? So 0, 90 degree. So now look, between this 0 and 90 will be, so we have this movement, this rotation, 90 angle. Between will be 45, because, you know, right? Like, we have, I have to show it. So we have this 90 angle, and in middle is a 45 angle. So idea of Kranz cubes is about, you need this ability, need this skill to see every 3D object, how they rotated according to camera, to observer. And yeah, let's again, to make it maybe more clear, I have demonstration. So here is like one app called Magic Poser. On iPad I use like free version. What? Oh no, they say like yeah. Oh no, I say like, so I need to buy eventually, because I not often use this stuff. Again, setting. Так. No, okay, fixed. So here we have like pose figure, right? 3D model. Hello Ted, hello Echoes, hello Dorian again. So and you see what is important here, what I like, they have this cube on a corner. So now we see a figure from a front. So this is the side of a cube. So look, when I rotate to left, you see how cube is rotated, right? So like this ratio of a cube. So we see front and left side in a ratio 2 and 2. So we see equally front and left side. So in a cube it looks like symmetrical symbol. In a figure, this is how it looks in a figure. So you need to train your brain. So instead of just like mindlessly draw from references, you establish this clear idea. So every time you draw, you need to know exactly what is angle you're drawing. So this way you train your brain, and you will have this like ability to draw exact angles. And yeah, so it's a training. So it means in actual drawing you can make mistake. You don't need to draw like 100% correct angles, but system is clear and perfect. So you just, as artists, you will sometimes be a little loose. So look, right? So here we have this angle, like 45 angle horizontal rotation, but now we can also add some vertical rotation. So while having horizontal rotation now, you see we start to have, so this is like 22.5 vertical rotation camera angle. So we look little camera, if to explain camera. So here is a dude, right? And the camera angle here is 90 degree. Here is 0, kind of just front. Here it's 45. Now we're looking is like 22, about like 22.5. So look how cube look in the 22.5 together with the 45 horizontal rotation. So it's a Kranz cube like this. So it have, oh my god, I draw so broken. I'm just a human after all. Okay, so you see it here is ratio 2 and 2, and here ratio vertically is 3 to 1. Okay, so you just kind of need to remember it like a kind of first grade. So then I keep moving camera, look on a cube in the corner. Okay, now what I have, camera 45 angle here, and we have horizontal 45 rotation and the vertical 45 and rotation. So Kranz cube for this one look like this. So actually it's easy to remember. It's 3 equal rhombs. You see, we have like 1, 2, 3 rhombs. They're like exact same size. And if talk about ratio, so it's like 2 and 2 horizontally, and 2 and 2 vertically. So it's kind of perfect equal rotation. So, and you can like, I still use this free version. It's just because I don't use it usually. I just like for this example with the cube. You can download it if you have iPad, or how it's called, Apple, Samsung Apple. So you see, you can kind of like just see how figure look from different angle with this Kranz box, Kranz cube logic. See? So yeah, let's say 45, and now will be like 60, 67.5, I think, this angle. So it's here. It's like between 90 and 45 I have right now. So in this, it look this way. So you see, it's kind of like basic, this essential, but nobody explain it, unfortunately. But this like really will help you, and you will see like it's kind of skill, because this is what you need if you want to draw from imagination. Kind of, you want to invent poses, you want to invent situations, so you can draw. Like you see here, we have perspective grid on the ground for this angle. Then why I draw this box, sorry, should be just talking, can do mistake like this. Yeah, so we see top, front, and left side. So yeah, so it's just kind of like very basic grammar, which will make you able to create your own poses and have like clear idea what is happening actually when you look on the reference. Так. So again, app calls Magic Poser. Magic Poser. I think maybe you can even download it in the Windows, not sure. Так. Yeah, thank you, Ted, for feedback. So then here you see how every element, like whole pose in general, it's a cube. So let me, yeah, that's, so you can look at like a fractal, you can look at in a different level. So in general, actually, you can see like in a figure, right? Like this is his back, this is his side, and this is kind of bottom, right? So like in the box, we have back and like we have sides kind of 3D object, right? So just train yourself to see this box logic, to see sides like front side, top side, left side. So, and then like when you look at him, he doesn't look like a box. So what you need is to see logic of a box in it, not kind of, you don't need to measure him like a box. So when I look at him, I say like, okay, so what sides I see? So I already say we see three sides, right? We see back, right, and bottom side. I don't see him from a top, I see him from a bottom. So like a cube. So let's say it's kind of, if I look on a cube, it will be something like this, right? So then I can double check. So yeah, I see this side, so I look from bottom up, but what exact degree? So I can like little um, look more to double check. So like how much I see his back. So because I can see him like 100% from his back, right? So it's like there was, it's like 100%, and then it's like I show in the videos, or I show in the app like 45, for example, right? So I ask myself question here, it's like how much his backside is exposed. It's like 100%, or it's like a ratio, it's smaller than 50%, or like, well, because if 50, then it will be like 45 angle, like in a cube. So, and I say, okay, here I can say its right side is more exposed than back. Okay, so then I say like, seems like, so if some kind of this, so for me it seems as this kind of box. So it's like you can see this whole figure character in general, like how he, with all his pose, how he is located, how he is positioned according to camera. Again, like maybe show you example. I can show you other example. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So it's like, okay, here we have this box, right? So we see front, this like 45, then it's like we start to see top, right? And now imagine we put figure inside, right? So now he is on a certain pose, but I call him like this, like assembly. I say this is a front, okay? So it's because it's voluntary. I just do whatever I want. I'm artist, right? So I say this for this figure, this will be like front angle. And you see, look in the box, right? It's the front side. Then whole this assembly we rotating. Now it's da da da. Now this thing is rotated 45 angle to according to camera. Then I keep rotating 90 degree. Keep rotating. So this like 60 and 67 and 5.5 and 180 and whatever, right? And I can like, okay, I can hold this assembly. I rotate like vertically and also vertically together. So you notice box whole time, right? So this is what I mean when I'm talking about this. You need this ability. Without this ability, you will never be Kim Jong-gi, you know. And this is, it's kind of simple. It's a problem with this is not like a, some kind of superpower. Problem is just like you have no idea it exists. Nobody tell anyone about this. So welcome to my channel. So because like when you look Kim Jong-gi drawing people in the box, it's like kind of, oh, what kind of logic he using? This logic. I don't know, maybe he says this in the Korean, but yeah, I don't understand Korean, so I never hear. So if I draw like a box for this character, like in what kind of box he is, it will be kind of this. You see what I mean? And then you can go for like each element and also consider each element as individual box which have its own angle, its own position according to camera. It's like this or like this. It's like I was saying in a previous video. It's this like array of boxes, kind of just like you draw intuitive perspective when you draw in these different boxes. So only what important is like you're not just drawing intuitive perspective, just like, oh, it's look like proper box. It's not enough. You need to have exact angle in the mind. So what is angle of this box? So and you see we have for everything, like when they're parallel to each other, these boxes, or when they're rotated, and which axis boxes is rotated. So if I have like arm, right, then I have, so this like arm is bent here, right? So I know exactly where is rotation axis. It's here. So they parallel, these two boxes parallel to each other, but in one axis they are not parallel. So I mean they're kind of like lying on the same surface, but then they have like this different angle of position. So you need to have this clear idea how they oriented. Так. So here we have his back also as a box, and everything like head, what kind of angle, what kind of Kranz cube, and going to fingers, right? So, and the fingers, here he use 3 boxes for fingers. So we have like this nail part, then we have this one, then we have this one. So again, you see, it's like you need to draw 3 boxes related kind of they have points of connection to each other. But what your control over is you control rotation of these boxes according to viewer. Так, блин. Let me draw on the paper. Так. Так. Or maybe let's go here. So look, let me first just show you this finger. So we have one box here. Then you see second box, we see this side, right? And the third box, we see it with this angle. So this one finger, it's 3 boxes. And what important, you see this like X axis, they have parallel. So their X axis is parallel. They have same X axis. So if you have like some special perspective grid with a convergent x-axis, so you draw these boxes following same x perspective grid. Then you see this y not parallel because they're rotating, and z not parallel. So because they have this like same x, and because you kind of like you can arrange them, let's say you can arrange them to be connected like this, let's say like this. So it will make them like lying on the same plane. Like if here we have this kind of flat surface, and they're like glue to this flat surface. So you know, kind of that's what I'm talking here. So they're like this two pencil line on the same surface, just have different rotation here. So this kind of what happened with the finger. Okay. So, and he draw all fingers in this way. So you have like 3 boxes, 3 boxes, 3 boxes, 3 boxes. And here for thumb is 2 boxes. Then box for wrist. So let's show here. So like I was show in the previous time, right? So we have like overlapping of this stuff. Like we have this closest to us, it's a hand with the fingers. Then goes this part of arm, this one, back, values. It's kind of like sequence can be different. You can start with this like very basic shapes or some gesture lines, or you can start with perspective grid. So then, like I start with this kind of shapes first, then if I want I can make like perspective grid here. So this will be X, X. And we don't need Y and Z here, just X is enough, just to make sure is like limbs is parallel. So then, just because it's like, okay, maybe I can do start with a palm. So same, you can do this like gesture lines. Point is just you need to see it as a intuitive perspective drill, like when you've been drawing boxes, following gesture line. So you have these gesture lines, and now you draw these boxes following gesture line. So you kind of, when you see kind of some confusing, like, oh, what's this? Okay, just ask yourself again this box logic. Like, do you see like this fingertip? You see it top of a fingertip, or you see only front? So, and you can make your like creative decision. So you say like, okay, I want to show actually little kind of top of a fingertip. So then it will be like, instead of being just box like this, I want to show it like box like this, right? So here will be like nail, and we can see kind of little of a tip of a finger. And sometimes it's not very visible, right? So maybe like visually it seems it don't make much difference, but for you it's very important, because like you need to have like very clear and solid idea behind your form. You need to know exactly what happening with the form here. Так. And here I have finger number 4. So just ask every object you draw, like how many sides you see. You see one side, you see two sides, or you see actually like 3 sides, right? So if it's not some kind of crazy surrealism, you cannot see more than 3 sides. So you need, first you ask like how many sides you see. Second is like what is ratio, like what is degree of each side, how much you see this side or this side. Так, okay. So here we have this bunch of boxes. Yeah, you see it's like this, just exact same intuitive perspective drill. Then we have two here. So this one, look here, is like box moving away, right? So again, it should be clear, moving away. So these two boxes for a thumb here. Yeah. So then we go to this arm. Then we have so here I look on the leg, right? It's I see is like bottom and the right side. So there is no edge like in a box. So I cannot see actually this edge, right? Because it's like idea. This this kind of distinction between sides, where is the front, sometimes is absolutely not exist because it's just principle, it's idea. It's like somewhere there it's a separation between front and the back side, for example, or and the left side, front and the right side. So here you see, like here I see 1, 2, 3 sides, here I see only 2 sides. Then we have 4 shoes, will be kind of this, and this one will be kind of this. So you can make mistake with reading reference. Maybe you not make it exactly accurate according to reference, and this will be not a big deal, because what is more important is just you not break logic of 3D object. So you need to learn this just to be able to draw this kind of rotations, positions in a space, right? So like here, let's say we have this like second arm, left arm, and like, okay, here is just a gesture, but then I think, okay, what is position of arm joints will be, right? So because it's moving away, so I assume I will see this side, and then I see 2 sides. So second part will be like this, and let's make like same. I can make like even boxes for fingers, but they're too small there. So once you have gesture shape, you can feel it with boxes. So like shape, it's give you like a receptacle. You know exactly like which size of box you can fill in, right? And but you need boxes to establish form, to establish this clear 3 dimensions. Так, so let's do like this. So here will be fingers. Also, like I show these three fingers as a three boxes, but you can also draw them like a Will Weston. He have his tutorials. He teach how's it called? I always forget this word. Um, so see, so it's kind of like a bent box, right? So you can break this ribbon. Yeah, ribbon. He call it a ribbon. So I recommend Will Weston. You can find like he have very cool tutorials about anatomy and stuff. So you can if you want this kind of like form, like intuitive perspective object in 3D, you can draw it like a ribbon. It can even like have some twists and turns. But I think it's like kind of like little next stage after you able to draw boxes, because like you can um, draw ribbon, so you can all the time you can see what is boxes within this ribbon. Okay, so so we have our xyz for a figure, these boxes. Then you can take pencil and like draw like shapes, gestures, and after you make ink, or as like exercise like I do, you can just go directly with ink. Just expect you will make some errors because you going directly into ink. And if you want to like understand how to draw this, how to ink, right? How to draw this like shapes and textures of a different surface, like wrinkles on the skin. I think it's a very great practice. It's just copy line work of your favorite artist. So you study visual language from masterwork. It's like apprentice and master system, which is always been, it's kind of like classical system, like when apprentice go to master studio and he just copy everything from master artist. Basically there been like let's say like a cheap labor doing all this like assistant work, right? So after for a couple years copying all techniques of their master, they go and draw their own stuff without need to like follow exactly like your master do. So you can do like little adjustment just for your own taste, and this is how you make your own style, right? So first step, it's always copying, and after you learn visual language through copying, you can go to develop your own style. You cannot make your own thing from beginning. It will be like trying to invent bicycle or a wheel, just it will be kind of dubious. And yeah, and still kind of like, yeah, no, always can be exceptions. Maybe you're this like prodigy, but like thumbnail rule for this, if you think you might be like special, kind of prodigy, some genius talent, then kind of like rule of thumb here, if you need to watch tutorials, you're not genius. So just kind of simple reality check for you. If you're like going to this path of finding tutorials about how to draw, if you have problem with motivations, it's just 100% sign that you are definitely not a genius, and not try to be kind of different in this way, like you can figure out everything ignoring advice from professional people. This will be just typical arrogance of amateur who will never learn because his ego is too big. Так. So here another box and this pouch. Yeah, I was like in art college and we go to museum, watch some like oil paintings. And there was a painting, oil painting, like some city, kind of like cityscape, some amazing, so beautiful. And teacher tell me, say, oh, this student work, he painted when he was 9 year old. I was like, 9 year old? The hell? Like, I'm still cannot paint like this. And so it was so kind of like a reality check for me. I was like, I was already like 18-year-old. And here he's showing me like 9 year old oil painting of 9 year old student. So what the hell? Student? 9 year old? So yeah. So don't feel humiliated from learning. Now it's absolutely normal, like when you can learn from some like 15-year-old artists. It's just somebody really genius, somebody very talented. So it's just reality. Don't try to make yourself look better than somebody. It's just kind of weak. It's resentment. Yeah. Nietzsche will laugh at you. So, ha ha ha. You resentment Untermensch. Так. So here I don't draw boxes, I just... So yeah, and again, like first, now it's all these boxes, XYZ stuff, consider them as drills. So don't feel like, oh, no, I need, like, it's some kind of style which require you always to draw boxes. No, it's not a style, it don't require you always to draw boxes. Now you just need to be introduced to them. You need to practice this principle. And then it, after you draw in this, like, I think after 100 pictures, like proper steady drawings like this, it already will be in your head. And after like 300 pictures, you will not even think about it. It will be like default. Your brain will just automatically like calculate in all these boxes. So this is idea of all this learning. You need go like, don't try to do shortcuts in the beginning. Instead, you need to go and do very proper work. It's very slow, it's very like, it's not like creative work. It's a technical drills. It's a drills. It's a gym. It's your like basketball training. It's not your basketball competition. Like when you're trying to show you like, whoa, look, kind of, I'm a Michael Jordan, right? No, it's just your training. You just go and training, like learning how to throw ball or whatever they're doing. You're like practicing jump and stuff like this. But then when you do it like 10,000 hours, it will start to look like you born with it. And so this, a lot of people, most of artists we see, they just start earlier. So this like 9-year-old artist who already draw like crazy oil paintings at 9-year-old age, he just, most likely he born in an artist environment and maybe like his parents oil painters. So, you know, he's like from childhood been looking around, seeing all these oil paintings, like just looking like step by step what they're doing, and children like learning language. Children learn like crazy fast. So um, he just, most of artists like this who early have amazing skills, it's just because they start earlier. That's it. It's not no kind of magic tricks here. Is everybody goes through same process. So here we have like down shot, bird view. So, and I see is a perspective grid. Let's show you. So for this picture, it's kind of not clear, but it seems like it will be useful. It will be really useful, helpful if we see here perspective grid like this. So here is X goes this way. So it's like bird view. X goes this way and Z goes this way. And yeah, it might be even y-axis. Like, yeah, we have like this back we have this figure. So yeah, even y-axis have here. So it's this like normal, simple perspective grid for a down shot, like isometry. It's even just isometry without convergence. But like I was showing in this example, it's this perspective type when character is not always connected with perspective grid. It can be totally detached. So some figures here, they're just random. Like they're not, I mean, like they're not parallel to perspective grid. So let me share. Dun, 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 dun. Here's kind of. And again, like a perspective grid here also why it's helpful to draw it, because it's established stage. Is so for yourself you just have better idea, feeling of a space, and like where is the ground and where is stuff is happening, kind of you can feel space, right? So we have character kind of jumping here, second character here, then we have character here, so composition here. Composition finish. Then I just start like, okay, this character, I start to reveal elements of this shape. So composition, all the shape stuff, it's always fractal. So you always like, there is big shape and then it's elements of big shape like kind of going inside, right? So you can see like what this shape is consist of, what is happening inside this shape, and what happening inside, it will be another shapes. So it's kind of like a bucket with the shapes. A bigger shape is a receptacle of a for bunch of smaller shapes. So here we have these fingers. One, two, three, four. So this is thumb. So then we have this hand. So somewhere here, it's a torso. So, like this figure is very hard to read, but again, here is your practice experience help you to do this. This what pose he have. So this is kind of his pose. He kind of like this guy here. It's just like from this angle, it's look very confusing. It's like hard to read it. But it's very important for you to know exactly what happened. You see? So now you kind of like you can actually draw him from any angle. So it's like sliding. So here he have his torso, pelvis, then it's two leg and shoes. Elbow. So first I just put, for convenience, I will just put here shapes, and then I will turn them into boxes. Так, so here pelvis. And there is one more figure. Okay, we'll ignore it. So, and here head. So this also like answer for a question if you have like which sequence use to draw people. And I will do tutorial also about this, like how to draw people in perspective. But here you already can see, so people, it's shapes and form, right? So shapes, they're just like showing you placement of body elements, and the form defines like clear 3D parameters, so you know exactly like from which angle we look, where is located, how they are oriented according to each other. So they like you need to do it simultaneously. It's both, and it's together. It's a shape and form, kind of box, shape and box in same time. Right. It's kind of like composition. I don't like this one. Maybe it's kind of early work, but cool exercise anyway. So here, back, pelvis, leg, kind of this, right? So we have shapes, and now we can turn them into boxes. Maybe with a pencil. So this finger, then this kind of this is так. So head here again, like it's not clear, but just make your decision what is the angle, and I do this kind of angle here. So torso, pelvis. So here's like cage, pelvis, kind of this position. So if you want to draw like Kim Jong-gi, this kind of exercise will make you able to draw like intuitively figures in perspective with a proper form. Not, this kind of always like tutorials like say like how to draw like Kim Jong-gi, how to draw like Kim Jong-gi, and they always talking about drawing without pencil. It's like easiest part. It's to learn draw without pencil. It's just a problem with it is that you draw with pencil or without pencil, your knowledge will be visible. So if you don't understand form, it will be always there. People will see you have problem with the form. And ability to draw without pencil, it just naturally comes when you have a lot of drawing experience. You just draw a lot. And then you see like, okay, you've been drawing people like 10,000 figures already. You draw so many, and you not randomly draw. You've been drawing them like with a clear understanding of a form, anatomy. You've been thinking about perspective. So, and you draw this like 1,000 times. Eventually you find out like you've been draw every possible angle, because there is not so many angles. It's a limited amount of angles like in which you can draw a human body. So if you draw a lot, you will just get to this point when you've been draw all of angles many times. So and because you draw so often, so many times, you don't need pencil anymore, because it's so kind of like self-evident for you already. It's like, yeah, like a draw in a box, but with all these minor elements, like underlying structures of a human body. That's it. So it can make like very cool video, like when you talk about like, hey, draw without pencil, like make line here, here, and there, and it's look like, wow, very impressive. But as learning, it's zero value, this kind of stuff. Like best this kind of video do for you, it's just kind of inspire you to draw more. No. So here are kind of this bunch of boxes. So, and this what's also important to learn. It's it's kind of you need to just to understand this principle that instead of avoiding uncomfortable kind of hard work, you should start from it. And by doing this hard work, like annoying, mundane, boring kind of work, by doing it, you will find like eventually it became not so annoying. Eventually it became like kind of like natural thing to do. It's like walking, just imagine like for artists, draw a lot. It's like for every other people, it's like to walk or breathe. Imagine like you wake up in the morning, it's like, oh, I need to walk today. I like you just wake up in the morning, it's like, oh, I don't want like I'm in a walking block. I not feel like I'm in the mood of walking today. This is kind of like how it's for artists, right? Or like, I don't want to use on stairs. I just will jump in a window. It will be faster to go outside to buy some groceries, right? I mean, is this same as kind of like you trying to avoid doing practice foundations? So like, oh, I don't want to practice foundation. I want to learn draw without pencil. Okay, you can learn to draw without without everything. Just use AI. Like draw without drawing. Eventually, like you start from like laziness about drawing essentials, and you end up prompting for AI. It's a slippery slope. So even like right now, I think it's like really very important to go more traditional media, to be more hardcore. So I will do more videos about like how to make watercolors, Like I especially like I love watercolors in the comic books and manga, like Masamune Shiro watercolors. They look so cool. Because like uh, more and more people will be lazy to study foundations, right? Because it will be so easy to make a pretty picture with AI, with digital tools. So people who able to draw traditionally, they will be more, it's kind of like unusual. It will be like more rare ability. So nobody will believe you, and you every time you will need to draw in front of people, say, look, I can draw it myself without Control Z, without AI assistant, and like watercolor ink is how to say, it's like not forgiven techniques, right? They're, you cannot erase watercolor. If you erase it, it's already look ugly. So it always should be like pure. And it's great to use this kind of material because they require discipline, right? It's like train you, make you a real master. Master, master, master of watercolor. Faster, faster. Not talking about this is like very okay. Like if you're a digital artist, right? You're just kind of like an office worker. You see it and drawing on your computer. But if you're able to draw traditionally, bro, you're a celebrity because it's a social skill. Because like you can make friends very easily. Just just drawing somebody like it's for them it can be like mind blowing. Somebody like never have portrait in their life, and there you sit and draw them in the 10 minutes, give them portrait, and they will keep it forever, give their grandchildren, they will remember you, say like, hey, this guy, I just met him, we was like waiting a bus wait or a train, or we was like in airplane with together sit, everybody watch movie, but this guy sit and draw, and he draw my portrait. He will remember, or she, will remember forever. So it's amazing social skill. Will open so many doors in your life, make many friends. And is this kind of like historically, it's considered like very high class. Like you can be poor. You don't need to born like royal family. Because again, like traditionally there is a narrative that artists, they can came like from wild somewhere, right? But because you're able to draw, create you can create kind of beautiful stuff. It means you chosen by God, and people really believe. this. So it's also what make you like belong to elites of a society. You know, people consider artists as a um, like I don't know how to say. It's kind of like a high level of respect. But I think like it's something like you it can be market, right? You can be marketing, so it's just like you can be fake artist, or you can just have a real skill and you just by yourself without any marketing, without you can even be like super shy, you don't know what to say, you can go somewhere like you don't know language, whatever. You just make some picture and it's blow people minds. Like I have like also a friend. It's very interesting like to see other artists who you respect, like who draw like amazing, like Donald Colley, he draw like amazing markers. And like he was fly to Taiwan and make some portraits with the markers in airplane. And when you see these markers in the real life, it's look like, you know, you can't believe it's real. It's so like refined. This kind of quality is like so refined. It's like it's when you watch it on a screen, it's absolutely different. In reality, quality much more striking. It really looks like a magic. So kind of like we are too much stuck into digital, right? Like we is like now it feels like everybody look on the world through screen. Cannot even look directly. Like somehow we need to always kind of filter it through screen. So at least me, I kind of like I've been, you know, in my generation, I was in a time when there was no internet, so I can remember what life it was. And I can compare. I can compare, and I can say it's really kind of it's like everybody is like little bewitched by internet and screens right now. It's like screen became dominant. So and again, like maybe it's like for not artist people, I don't know, it's maybe not big deal, but for artists, I think it's like it's really serious distinction. It's like being limited to digital. It's you losing a lot. It's a difference between like adventurer, like some celebrity, and the office worker who is like, yeah, you can be like hero in your kind of industry, in your community, but you you're not living like artist, like a rock star artist, you know. Don't know. If you not agree, write me in the comments. We can kind of talk about this. But just like imagine like having studio, inviting models to the studio, then have like friends visit you, playing guitar, talking, making this kind of how it's called in English when in this kind of like small concerts, jam sessions. Like I have in my hometown, I have friends. I was so shocked. It's real until kind of hustle, like real bohemia people. They have like every day. A lot of people go to every evening, kind of go to their house. They're like talking about kind of very intellectual topics like history, art, science. Somebody sit play piano there in their house, like all walls is filled with the paintings. It's like paintings on all walls. And it's like I was like, wow. And everybody, somebody like historian, somebody like engineer, somebody doctor. I was like, wow, these people so crazy. So they're after work, they just go to this place to talk. It's amazing. So, see comments deleted. Da-da-da-da. And like kind of like a year ago, I was we're doing like charity event in Taipei with the friends, and I ask like I no, I say I can draw some portraits for donations, and they say okay. So and I was just sit and drawing people who donate some money, and like I was so kind of surprised, like everybody's so happy, and it's like wow, portrait, it's look like me. I was like, I already forget how it's unusual for people. For me, it's like, okay, portrait, just another drawing. But most of people they never have a portrait. Так, so kind of this. Here's some. So before you drawing like figures like this, complex poses, make sure you do this practice from my video about intuitive perspective when you practice drawing cubes or boxes in a space. Also, you can, if you want, you can go for another source is Ryan Berry. Ryan, I think A. Berry, Nine Monkeys. Right? So he have sometimes like workshops, and his kind of approach it's the same like what I'm telling you here. He always compose in boxes, like intuitively place and arranging all these boxes in a space, and you can make like crazy extreme angles, like when closed box can be like super big, super exaggerated, and farther boxes go smaller. You know, this is how you create it without overthinking, without thinking about like measuring, like how to measure this diminishing stuff. Yeah, just don't need to overthink it. Так, let's do here.
Who are you?
My name is Bond.
Jim Bond.
Так, let's go. Uh-huh. Okay, it's this one. So here we have this like crazy angle, right? And this one. Yeah. Okay, let's do this.
Who are you?
Dun, 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 dun. Are you? So here we have like curved horizon, tilted camera. So let's go like this. Так. And yes, and like the probably here is the vanishing point. So this y and this z axis goes this way. So again, this one horizontal line. So these are y-axis vertical. Так, so let's do it like this, y-axis and x-axis like this. Так, and now again we will have x, so I can snap every box for this x axis. So we have his feet, shoe, then leg, this, Here's, so these are pelvis, torso, head, arm. So here you see, like, okay, this is shape. So boxes will be like inside this shape. But then let's double check what will be orientation of a box sides, right? So here is clearly for shoe box, it's like this. So we look on a shoe from top down, box like this. Then we have here, yeah, seems kind of this angle. Okay, kind of this. Pelvis, some kind of this angle. Torso, kind of this. Again, like you see, I draw my own. In the end, here is my own drawing, right? So I want to make sure everything clear in my drawing, because sometimes even in a master works can be errors, and if you try to just copy everything mindlessly, you can copy mistakes. So it's kind of like a complicated. So you can copy mistakes, or if you lack of experience, by trying to make it better, you actually will do mistake. Anyway, just what important again here, just be aware and train your rational approach. Так. Because this is your drill. Так, so here we have this body, pelvis. So you see, it's interesting. Like here again, I like this example. Like when you look this pose, so you see here kind of we can see like little of this side, right? So it's not just only one side. We see two. We see back and the left side. So we see this back side and also some left side. Same here. So why is important again, like, and how it works? First of all, because subconsciously you always know it. Like everybody, like you don't need to be artist to understand this. Everybody read it subconsciously. Just you look some object of daily life, right? Like everyday object, and your brain immediately can tell what angle it is. Like it can immediately say like where is like one side and where begin other side, right? So you just, as artist, you need to be able to like consciously work with it. So you, with this practice, you teach yourself, you train yourself to have like conscious, clear control over this. Так. So you see, so I make sure we can see it's like box with three visible sides. Oh, I have a Gumroad ad here. Gilborn Gumroad. Yeah, so I have some tutorials on a Gumroad, like urban sketching, perspective for drawing city. Like urban sketching is absolutely original stuff, because I've been like almost 20 year I've been urban sketching, and 10 year full time. 10 year full time I've been artist, travel, draw in different cities, different countries. So I make tutorials to share my insights, my own inventions, kind of. Yeah, I plan make a book about it, but make a book is it's much harder than it seems. Make book takes so much time. I still finishing my motorcycle book. So maybe Gumroad is even more profitable than making books. Так. So here I have this figure. Stuff like that. Hello, Ren. Yeah, ask question. Yeah. I'm not guarantee I will answer like right now, but because sometimes my brain just not working. You need because draw and talk. But you ask question, I will answer now or later. Anyway. So here's your questions is important for my channel, because like I say, it's important to have some interaction. So I see I make videos for real people. And, it's kind of, because for me here, I just sit talking with the camera. It's kind of very weird, surreal. And when somebody write comments or ask questions, it's your contribution. So not only money can help this channel. Just kind of feedback, human communication, all this is very valuable. So don't hesitate. Like from my side, I'm not guarantee I always can answer it. I try always answer, but sometimes, forgive me if I just don't know what to say. Так, так, так. Okay. Yeah, so Ren asked can Evo like need to draw guidelines. Yeah, this is what I was talking today and I talking all the time. When you see some master draw without guidelines, right? First of all, to be able to draw without preliminary sketch, without all this kind of structure uh, under sketches. First of all, you need to know how perspective works, right? So in the most cases, these artists who draw like great perspective without drawing pencil, they've been drawing pencil before a lot. Like then when they was studying in the college or in their first works, like look Kim Jong-gi early works. They're just like anybody else. It's like he have like a lot of pencil sketch. They look like very rigid. You can see it was very difficult, and he like struggled a lot making perspective in these early works. So um, my uh, my opinion that instead of like start working on a drawing without pencil when you're a beginner artist, in opposite you need to start to draw all the structure because it's your learning process, because you don't know perspective, right? You need to learn it. How you expect to learn it? Just reading text? No, you need to draw all this stuff. Так, here I draw. So first you draw it a lot with all this pencil, all this perspective grids, boxes, and then you can skip it. So you do it you do it from experience, not because you're like, oh, it's so many lines, I don't want to draw them. Oh, it's so, or it's like, it's so boring. Oh, I don't want to draw. It's so boring. No, you do it because you've been drawing it so many times, and now you just like a Robocop, kind of like a Terminator. You can see it without drawing. So it's like I talk on it in my videos, like intuitive perspective, and yeah, let's move horizon line here down, breaking the law, breaking the law. I was talking about this. So I say first you draw perspective grids, and after you draw them many times, you know them without drawing them. It's like you study human anatomy, you draw all these bones, muscles, but then when you draw your character for your illustration, You can just draw directly, like a gesture, pose. You more think about um, drawing gesture and emotion. But actually, when you draw, you include all your knowledge and your previous experience. You include all inside this gesture. So you draw all these bones, muscle underneath. It's presented. This how all this like master artists work. Like if you look some animators from Disney, like especially like early old school guys, these guys, like I think who it was draw Tarzan, Glen Keane, I think, right? He can draw like Tarzan. It look like, oh, cartoony Tarzan. All this like gestural drawings. It's like, wow, he drawing so amazing gesture. He draws this Tarzan like very gestural. But in any moment, if you want, he can break down his figure and show you like he know exactly every muscle. He know every muscle everywhere, every bone. So eh, he have like this how it's called, X-ray vision of his drawing. So this structure practice, you develop this your artistic X-ray vision. So later when you draw, like if you want for maybe you want to more loose, more quick drawing, so you don't need uh, to have like super precise structure for perspective, right? So you can just go directly for inking, for pencil, and without drawing perspective grid. Or it's a limited amount of camera angles, and you've been drawing these angles 100 times. So right now you draw like this angle, right? For you it looks like I drawing it first time in my life, but for me it's already like I've been drawing like 100 times. I can like wake up in the night and draw in this because without any perspective grid, you know. So it's kind of my opinion here. If you're confident with perspective, you know exactly like how all it works. You always know how to draw scene, so everything will be in their place, and you happy with this scene. Yes, then you can go and practice on drawing without structure. But if you aware that you have some problems with the very fundamentals, then skipping structure is definitely not for you. It will only like uh, you will only like lost opportunity, and you kind of like drag your incompetence with you, and everything you draw will have this kind of lack of your understanding. So better you kind of fix it in the early stage. Like start from building essentials. And what is also like I want to add here, right? Problem you see here is just like in general, beginners, they think about like drawing like very limited amount of drawing. Like if they draw like 1 hour in a week. So and if I tell you like, oh, you need to draw perspective grid, and you think like, oh, I don't know you exactly, but in general, I see it so often. So I tell like, oh, you need to draw like 100 perspective grids. And it's like, So now I will only draw perspective grids. Not only you do all the structures, but then you can draw whatever you want. So you draw in this perspective exercise, perspective drills, studies, practice. But then you have a lot of time, draw your own stuff. Nobody prohibit you. If you want to draw without pencil, draw without pencil. But if you avoid of a learn and practice structure, you will never improve, or your work will be like same mediocre, shallow quality. So feel free for doing both, doing structure and drawing without structure. Just